Coming up next is the Manufacturing Edition. These new features will be shipped in version 2021.2. Manufacturers will be able to review labor efficiency in production. There will be reassignments of lot and serial numbers. There will be some supplier shipment enhancements and visual production schedule, as well as firm scheduling for production orders. If you are a production manager and your company tracks employee production time, then this enhancement in the manufacturing module will be of your interest. Starting from version 2021.2, MYOB Advanced introduces a new report called Production Order Labor Efficiency. This report tracks planned versus actual hours an employee spent on an operation for a production order, and therefore calculates the employee's efficiency. On my screen is the production order labor efficiency report. This report displays information such as the production order number, the inventory ID of that production order, as well as the operation ID, the work center, and more importantly, the plant hours, the actual hours, and the efficiency of labor. So this information actually comes from the bill of material and the labor transaction screen. For example, I have this bill of material here, and for this operation, I have the runtime of 1 hour and the run unit is 5. So that means that every 1 hour for this operation, I will produce 5 units, and that average to be 12 minutes per unit. So on the labor transaction, when the employee enter their labor transaction and they enter the labor time and the units produced, then this will become their actual hours that will go into the labor efficiency report, and the plant hours comes from the bill of material, and therefore the report will calculate the efficiency percentage for each operation of the production order. In previous versions of MYOB Advanced Manufacturing Edition, if your company manufacture items that are tracked by lot or serial number, then the production manager could only assign the lot and serial number to the item only when the item was moved to stock from a work center. This was inconvenience for organizations that need to prepare labels and other paperwork before moving the manufactured item into stock. Also, if your company needs to trace the specific sub-assemblies or material that make up of the final product, then it wasn't an easy process either. Version 2021.2 introduces the ability to specify a lot or serial number for a produced item right at the start of the production order. Additionally, for companies that need granular traceability, a production manager can set up the system so that it requires the lot or serial number to be assigned to the materials when the materials are being issued, or when the produced item is being moved into stock. Before you can start using the pre-assignment of lot and serial number functionality, you need to turn on a few things in the production order type. Firstly, your production order needs to be a regular order. It can't be a planned order or a disassembly order. Also down here on the data entry settings area, you need to tick the Allow pre-assigning of lot and serial numbers option. Once this is ticked, then this option require parent lot and serial number will be available for selection. So by default, the system will select Never. But if you want to put validation every time the user or the employee release materials, then you select On Issue. This means that the material transaction will not be able to be released if the employee has not assigned the lot and serial number on the materials. When you select On Completion, that means that the employee can go through and can go through all of the steps of all of the operations of the production order except for the last one. In the last operation, the user will need to go to the late assignment screen, which is a new screen, and they need to assign the lot and serial number of the produced good into the materials before the labor transaction or the move transaction can be released so that the produced item can go into stock. On my screen here, I have this production order, which is a manufacturing order for this inventory item. This is a bike body, and I have set this item up so that it tracks serial number. So on the production order screen, as you can see, there is a new tab called Line Details, and this is where you will assign the lot and serial number to the produced item. So in this case, I have 1 as a quantity to produce. So on the line number, I only need to assign the lot and serial number once for this item. But if you produce many items, then you will need to assign 1 serial number for each item. Or if it's a lot, then you will need to assign 1 lot per a quantity of items. So as you can see here on the production order maintenance screen, there is a new section here called Allow reassigning of lot and serial number, and the required parent of lot and serial number value I have set to on issue. And these values inherit from the order type, but they are not locked. So if you create a new production order and your order has not been released, then you can still change these values as well. So as you can see, I have set it to on issue. That means that when I release the material transaction, I need to assign the lot and serial number, the parent lot and serial number to the materials. Otherwise, the system will not allow me to. So let me just quickly put this on hold and copy this lot and serial number here, change it back to release, and then on the material, I have entered the required materials to produce that item. And these are just from my BOM. So the parent lot and serial number field here, I have left them blank. Now if I try to release, then the system will tell me that I can't release this unless I assign the parent lot and serial number to each of the material inventory ID lines here. So I'm just gonna put them here and save and release. Now the system allows me to release the material transaction. So the purpose of this parent lot and serial number here is for traceability. Um, Therefore, we will know that these inventory IDs, where they go to. They go to obviously they go to this stock item here, this bike body, but we will know exactly which lot and serial number these materials go into. So I'm on the production order maintenance screen as well. This time for my production order, I have set the required parent lot or serial number value to on completion. That means that I can still move all of my operations throughout my production process, but when I create a move transaction or a labor transaction, the last operation to complete the production order, then I have to assign the parent lot and serial number into the material. For example, for this stock item, for this bill of material, it has 2 operations. The first operations I have already been it has already been released, so the move transaction here has already been released. Now, if I go to create another move transaction to complete this order, which is operation 20, this is the second operation. When I enter the quantity and try to save, it will tell me that this order contains material to which the parent lot or serial numbers had not been assigned. So that means that I have to go and assign the lot and serial number to the stock item, to the materials. In order for me to do that, I need to do it on a new screen called Late Assignment. I can access the screen from here or from the production order. You can go to Late Assignments from here as well. And this is what the late assignment screen look like. It tells you what order type is, what production order number is, and what is a lot and serial number, and what material you need to allocate to this lot and serial number. So in this case, I have this one sitting as unallocated. I'm just gonna allocate from here. So now that's, oh, yeah, gotta click allocate as well. So now that's all allocated. I can go to the production order maintenance and create the move transaction. And then just enter the quantity here and release. So the move transaction has been released for me. So for traceability, this version has introduced one report and one inquiry screen. The first report is called the lot and serial hierarchy report, and it will tell you which production order and which parent lot and serial number, as well as which material has been allocated to that lot and serial number. For example, for this bike, I think I made a mistake here where I assigned two material for the bike frame to this one, but that's okay. It's just an example. But I can see that for this parent lot and serial number 107530, I have allocated a material with this lot or serial number here. And similarly, the screen as built configuration, also a new screen, allows you to just enter the lot and serial number, and it will show you what production order type, what production order, and what are the materials, and what are the lot and serial number of that material that has been allocated to the parent lot and serial number. This report and this screen, they are very useful for when you receive a for example, like a warranty claim, and we want to make sure that when the customer send an item back to us for warranty purposes, before we can process with the claim, we need to make sure that all the parts that were manufactured are not replaced, so everything has to be original, so that it can honor the claim condition. So this will provide you with a facility to check for the parent lot and serial number whether the materials lot and serial numbers are still the same or not. There are some minor enhancements in the supplier shipment area. This will be an area of interest for you if your company's manufacturing process requires shipping of raw materials to supplier for outside processing. In version 2021.2, users can now create purchase orders or supplier shipments directly on the purchase order details screen. Also, you can add multiple items from multiple production orders to a supplier shipment. On my screen is the production order details screen. For this production order, for this operation and this work center, I have marked this work center as outside processing to indicate that the process being done in this operation is outsourced. Also, for these materials, I have set them to subcontract for the material type, and two for purchases and one for ship to vendor for the subcontract source. So as you can see on this screen, you can now create purchase order or create vendor shipment directly on the production order details. You can do that through the menu as well. So if I select create purchase order for this operation, then the system will create a new purchase order and add the materials where I marked the subcontract source to purchase, and also it has the mark to PO option ticked as well on the purchase order. Sorry, on the production order. Now, if I go back and select my production order again, I can also create vendor shipment directly on this screen. So if I do this, the system will create a new supplier shipment for me and add the material in there. So you will see that on the supplier shipment, there are two lines. The first line is the finished good, which has a type of work in progress because we need to send this to the supplier. We need to send the material to the supplier to produce the finished goods. So the finished good right now is still work in progress. The second one is the material, which is the one that we will be sending to the supplier. Also, another enhancement of this area is that on this supplier shipment screen, you can add production orders. If there are multiple production orders that share the same supplier for the outside processing, and this value is indicated in the production order details on the outside process tab. So this production order, I have set the supplier to supplier number 1, and this production order, I have the same supplier as well for outside processing. And therefore, on the supplier shipment, I'm able to add the similar orders in there. If your company uses advanced planning and scheduling, this new functionality that MYOB Advanced Manufacturing Edition delivers will make your work so much easier. It is a visual production schedule tool which helps the users see whether and where existing production orders can be rescheduled to accommodate order escalations or emergencies on the shop floor. So on my screen here is a production schedule board, and the production schedule board is a visualization tool for production orders that have been scheduled. And I scheduled these production orders through the rough cut planning screen. So they now all appear in the production schedule board. You have a date range here to indicate or to include production orders that will be started on in between these dates range. And also there is a color coding value here where you can specify how your Gantt chart on the production order will look like. So right now I have set the value to work center. So it will show the different colors of the work center for each of my production order. For example, this one is green for one work center and brown is for another work center. And if I tick this icon here, then it will display a list of work centers for me, and the height of each color block in this work center indicates the capacity of the work center on that particular day. For example, I have this production order, and as you can see, on the 31st and the 1st of April, they are running on full capacity for this work center. Also, this diamond shape here indicates that there is a sales order linked to a production order. The color red means that the requested on date of the sales order is before the production order start date or finish date, and therefore this production order is late. So if I click on late orders, then it will show that this production order is being late, and I can double click on the work center and reschedule it to meet the requested on days of the sales order. If I untick this to show all of my sales order and scroll to the right, you will see that there are only a list of linked sales orders where the promised date or the requested on date is green and is showing that these production orders will be on track. And this production order is scheduled to finish on the 11th of April, where the requested on date is actually on the 25th of April. And the reason why there's a gap here is because there is a lead time for the customer on the sales order. I have set a lead time to be 15 days, and therefore when I ran advanced planning and scheduling, the system suggested for the production order to start on this date and finish on this date. So for more details about the color coding as well as the icons and the functionality of the production schedule board, please refer to the release note. For production orders with high priorities or need to have a strict production date, the production managers might want to lock in the schedule dates. MYOB Advanced version 2021.2 introduces the ability to do that by firming a production order. Firm production orders are, by default, excluded from the rough cut planning screen and therefore being protected from being rescheduled. In the rough cut planning screen, there are two new actions, firm and undo firm. And these actions, when you select a production order and select an action and process, then the production order will be firmed. You will see that by default, the exclude firm orders tick box are ticked on this screen. Therefore, if you process scheduling for all of these production orders, the firm orders will not be included. If I untick this and show my firm's orders, you will see that the scheduled status is now firm. That means that I cannot move or the system cannot move the start date of the production order anymore. When I click on the production order maintenance screen, I will see that the firm value is also marked on the schedule status of the production order. And you can also do firming of a production order through the production schedule board as well, where you can select a production schedule and either firm or unfirm it.